Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? What up, what up? It's your girl, Miss DJ Hoodie, getting at you guys with another Why Run podcast episode. Today is Monday, March 16th, 2026. I am still in Phoenix, Arizona, freaking dying to go home, but I feel like I can't leave yet for modern reasons. And to chill myself out, I'm going to try to finish up one of my whips. And I'm kind of wondering if this actually needs another row. Probably does. But anyhow, yeah, so I wanted to kick on a episode to maybe just chit chat. Maybe some valuable information will come out from this as I'm being in my piece with my yarn. I'm alone right now, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to last for too long because, my parents, I gather they'll be home quite soon. It's always sooner than later, especially like when I'm trying to do an episode. As soon as I'm getting started, they'll pull into the driveway, and I do get upset. And my parents know that I get upset. They know how precious my time is. It sounds well, it is selfish, but not in the way that is. They understand. Let's just put it like that. So I gotta hurry up and get everything out that I think I need to say. I want to say it, but we'll see if it all comes out. So enough stalling. I just want to start off by saying that I had to call the pharmacy. I asked them about a certain prescription, and I'm confident that they will approve it within 2 days. So I'm kind of like waiting on that. And then I went onto the pharmacy line to reorder some other things that I need. So those will be ready for pickup tomorrow by 8 o'clock. So I'm thinking that I need to get my ass out tomorrow it would be great if the prescription that I called in for to double check, hopefully I will get a text about that today. And I'm going to try to pick up my other party favors tomorrow, probably before noon. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll get a text, like I'll get an okay about my first prescription. That way I can pick up everything together because it's all going to be in Phoenix. So, and that's kind of what I want to touch bases on as far as like us taking care of ourselves. And let me see, I'm going to be trying to, if I can find the yarn. But yeah, I'm going to be working as I talk. Hopefully I don't hit too much of is this a yarn? No, that's cotton yarn. I don't know what my other acrylic yarn is. I bought like two different types of yarn from it's the same color but like different brands, and they both feel so different. And I actually, hold on, because I might need to, yeah, this is the one. I don't want to make a lot of noise while I'm recording, so just a second. Okay, I think I'm done rummaging around. Yeah, my husband and I, we get so annoyed of like people saying that they're professional podcasters, but yet they're fucking eating on the fucking mic and rummaging through plastic bags. And it's like, yeah, and you call yourselves professionals. How tacky. But yeah, anyhow, so I don't know, like when people talk about like, oh, you gotta take care of yourself, like I genuinely want to know what they mean when they say that. And of course, us, we can put our own twist on it, right? Like we could put in like, like I really want to improve on this, and for me it's focusing on your health. I think that should be like the most ultimate, because like you can't really go far without it, and I think that's a whole part of us that we neglect. And yeah, that can be pretty rough. Talking to my husband about it, I'm just like, man, like I feel very like this, I feel very like that. And he's like, well, yeah, and he knows all of my issues and things like that. And, he just wants me to be okay ultimately. And, it's sometimes it is hard. Like I slip all the time, like as far as like, I don't take my meds on time, and, or, I think I'm going to be fine, without something. And that's a very terrible way to handle things. That's why it's like, okay, yeah, I really should take care of these things. Like, I need to kind of get myself back on track. And sometimes I feel like, oh, like, what's the point? Like, we're all fucked up and we're just gonna continue to get fucked up. And that's a that's a very poor attitude to have. But I mean, I've always felt like that. Like, like the whole, like, oh yeah, they're trying to like keep us sick, and just whatever it is, right? Like, we are sick though, and it is our responsibility to do these things that are gonna help us, right? And I am very thankful that I am blessed with having insurance and things like that to help me out. And I am. It is a bad thing when you're not using it, like you're not using the resources and things like that to help you maintain the rest of the good health that we all have. And you guys know that I from time to time preach that to you guys, to take care of yourselves and all of those things. But it's not just in my opinion, it's not just the medical stuff. It's about like kind of your identity, but kind of more like what things will keep you or keep us happy. And let's see, I'm trying to figure out how. Okay, yeah, I'm like I'm trying to put the needle in where I'm going to be sewing these ends here. I'm trying to make sure that everything's lining up the way that I need it to. But it's hard. I just gotta do my best. Okay, so going back on topic, I do apologize. So what I want to like touch bases on is that thinking back to when I was little, like I was very much into reading. Like I loved reading. I loved going to like book fairs and things like that. And I loved book reports. Oh my gosh, like I was a shit. Like I was tearing up them book reports, man. Like it was just, I just loved it. And now it's like I kind of want to add a little bit more. And I know I mentioned it to you guys. I'm not sure if you guys recall, but I was like, yeah, like I kind of want to get back into reading. Like I want to recapture that, because when I was little, it really did bring me happiness. Like it really did make me look forward to, like going to the library and seeing what new things, like what new books came out. And I just felt like, when you're too little for something, like, oh, you're too small to be worrying about bills or like money, or like you're too small to really be caring what people say about you. And and it was just happier times for me. I really did feel like books or characters in a story, they don't really they really don't judge you. And I know it sounds weird, because I know kids, they turn to things that bring them comfort, and that was really what books have done for me. And I just I'm thinking I could recapture that as an adult, as as a 40-year-old adult. I know it sounds weird, because it's like, well, like, are you not a kid anymore? Yes, I know that. But I feel like I have lost so much of myself as an adult. The only thing that I feel that I still do to this day as an adult is obviously still watching Disney movies. And I still love that. I still crank it on, and I'm just like, yes, like this is what I want to do right now. This is what I want to watch right now. And it represents happiness for me still. And we're all trying to hang on to some kind of happiness. And sometimes it's kind of like this. Like my dad, he'll talk shit about Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. And every time they say like, oh, you're a grown man, whatever. And my dad, he starts to criticize Sheldon. Like he'll be like, he's not a grown man. He's just a little boy or whatever. And I always try to take up for Sheldon. Sheldon's like my favorite. Like I understand him. Like I get where he's coming from. And I feel like I didn't sew this correctly. Yeah, I don't like how it looks. All right, I have to take it all apart, and that's fine. But like my dad doesn't understand. And as many times as I try to explain it to my dad, like why they're into comic books and I could be completely wrong. Like, I just feel like, this is just the way that I'm seeing it as I'm watching it. But like, it just, it should make you, like, their interest in like superheroes and like comic books and, things like that. I think it does something for them, like it makes them happy. It makes them like, take a break from, doing like a big serious job at the university, and sometimes they just need a break. That's why they go to the Renaissance Festival and they're all dressed up and they go to Comic-Con, and that's just them. That's what kind of makes them, like, playful and funny. They clown each other, and I think as adults we forget that we're capable of those things. That's why I think the majority of us, out there in the world, we're just so we we're just so unhappy, and it shows in our work and how we talk to people and how we drive on the road, and in the middle of the grocery store, we're just angry people. And I think that's the part that is missing from people. And I feel like over time I have lost my interest in books, because during that time of losing interest, I believe that I was more focused on having the wrong answers in other subjects in school. And then it came to how do I say, like, I feel like I'm doing this all wrong. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. But caring what people think about you, like who wants to hang out with you. Like, you're just feeling like, oh, I want a friend, and then you start joining cliques and doing all the wrong and bad things. And that's where you're, well, I can't speak for everyone, but like, I believe that's where my focus was. And it for me, it was about like taking up for other students, and then going against the whole entire school board about, why aren't there books on Native Americans? Like, how come we can't learn about Black history? Why are you guys idolizing, presidents that owned slaves? You're celebrating them, and you're celebrating Hitler by having Hitler's fucking picture on the fucking school walls. Like, I don't want to walk into this bitch and see that motherfucker, like, and I stood up for kids that didn't give a fuck, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm the only one. But I think, yeah, like, I have lost my interest. So skipping ahead to today, I am trying so hard. I'm trying so hard to get back into reading. How am I doing that? Well, you guys may have heard on my other episodes that I was thinking about canceling Audible. And I am very, very thankful that you can find my podcast on Audible. Very, very thankful for that. Never thought, and that is a accomplishment of mine. But, I feel like I'm just not interested in books. You know what I'm saying? For one, I don't know if everyone feels like this, but with the whole Epstein files and shit like that coming out, and you're seeing like the celebrity lists of the list of celebrities that have allegedly been a part of visiting the island, and whatever. They all have biographies written. They all have books, and some of those motherfuckers are or were in my wish list on Audible. Like, I'm just like, yeah, like, when they rack up enough credits, or if their particular book goes on sale, like, I'm definitely snagging that shit. But like, now, like, I don't want to read their story, because it's just lying. It's lying in a fucking book that you're paying for, right? But it's all allegedly. I know that, but it's just a turnoff, right? And I guess that's the beauty of books, is that you could totally be into something that's complete bullshit, something that's not true. But I just feel like that innocence that I once had, like, like, oh yeah, I just, I wanna read what's happening, like, I wanna know what's going on, or what happens at the end. And it's just, that's just where we're at now, at least for me. And it's almost like it's a shame that you don't know how to, I don't know how to do that anymore. I don't know how to, just read. And so obviously I'm having Audible read it to me. And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, like it's all good. Like, I can have the book read to me, and all I have to do is listen while I work. And I'm thinking it's gonna be like easy peasy, and like, oh yeah, like I'm sure that will capture my my love. Like I'll be able to fall back in love with it, in this way. That I'm still waiting, and I'm into like my second book, and I'm not even finished. But my husband recommended The Alchemist, which I'm not done with that yet. But I was quite into that book, and I don't know. Well, I know why. I steered away from that book because it's like, Audible will hit you up and be like, oh, your credits are about to expire. So, you start panicking and you start feeling like you need to start using your credit. So I think that's why I got steered away from The Alchemist. Um, so my whole point, I know I'm fucking stalling, but like it's heartbreaking for me, believe it or not, that I am no longer that child that was just like so into books and was so innocent in the into writing like book reports and stuff. And the happier times in my life, as a child, because we all should want to relive our childhood. And I think that's why Sheldon and the gang, like, they're so like into what they're into. And it's I could see that it's a mental break. And in times right now, we all fucking need a motherfucking break. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. We all fucking need it, because we're all just becoming very, very shitty people. There's no, an adult, or I should say a modern adult, does not have the miracle and the wonder and the innocence of a child. I just don't see it. I don't see it in people. And that makes me really sad, because if we all went back to, I'm not saying like, an adult should be stunted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that. There's a lot of stunted motherfuckers on fucking YouTube, let me tell you. And it's not cute, it's not pretty, and it's ridiculous actually, because they use that to, justify their bullshit. But anyhow, I'm not getting into it. But if everyone still had that in them as an adult of today, I think we would all be a lot more healthier in the mind and the mindset. And children fight, but they eventually get over it, because there's just other things, like we could all be punking each other on a playground, and all of that shit goes away when we hear the ice cream truck. And we're all on the sidewalk, and we're all counting our change, and we're all pitching in because we all want the same thing, and we're all sharing the same lollipop. And and then you kind of forget why we was all mad in the first fucking place. And those are the times that I miss, because yeah, like it's just different. Like everything is so different now, and everybody wonders why. Oh shit, did I do this wrong? I think I did this wrong. Oh my gosh, I did do this wrong. And here I tied it and everything. Okay, you know what? We're gonna skip that part. Yeah, I'll have to get apart in a little bit. It's fine. Just gonna move on to something else. So it is really, really hard for me to harness trying to read. And the stories, they are interesting. And I'm kind of, speaking about being stunted, perhaps, and I've said this before. Oh, excuse me. Sometimes I feel at times I'm stunted myself, because, like a situation will happen that will remind me of when I was a child. And, I discuss these things with my husband. It's not like I keep it all like a secret. Sometimes I'll talk about it with my parents, and they're just like, oh, we're so sorry. Like, we just thought you were like really, really smart and you didn't need any homework help or anything like that. We didn't know that you struggled. But there's still things that happened to me as an adult that puts me right back to when I was a child and it first happened to me. Or, it's, I try to shake it off of me, because it's like, yo, Adi, like, you're not a kid anymore. Like, you're this adult. You've done so many things in your life, and, you lived, a pretty good life. And yeah, but things still got to me. Like, I went through the majority of my life struggling. And even though, like, my parents, like, they didn't know that I struggled, in school. They never helped me with my homework. I don't even think they really attended parent teacher conference from what I recall, maybe like once or twice, but that's like elementary school, like third and fourth grade. And the only advancements were like, oh, your parents don't have to come in to parent teacher conference. They just need to sign this paper so that they know that you're failing. And yeah. So yeah, parent teacher conference, nothing. Being held back, yes. Even just being like delayed in a sex class that we were all required to take in junior high, totally missed it. That's a whole fucking story. And it scared the shit out of me. I was afraid of girls and guys in high school. Like, yeah, just everything, like everything just left. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I still gotta find that video. And I talked about it in an episode where I said I sent that video to my husband, and I'm just like, yo, I'm all of those three things. And it was about you know, why people revert back to comfort TV shows or comfort movies, and they can watch that shit over and over and over again, not get tired of it. If they need some kind of white noise, they'll turn on something. Like, it's reverting back to the same old thing. And there were times where it's like I want to watch something new. You know, I think I'm down to learn a new character and like new people, like new other side characters. And I get angry like when I listen to, or like when I watch like a new TV show. Like, I'm already just not liking everybody in the TV show. I could barely tolerate the main character in the show. Everybody else is pissing me off. Like, why do they do this? Why? So it's almost like I've kind of picked up that criticism that my dad had about Sheldon Cooper. But, you know, I kind of feel like that's original comedy, right? And all the newer stuff that's coming out is fake as fuck. You know, like, it's like no one in the show is intelligent. And, you know, when you got the Big Bang Theory, you know, yeah, you got the pretty girl, but she has brains. Like, she's not fucking stupid. You know, Penny can fucking hunt and fish and gut a fish and hook a worm. And, you know, you got these guys, you know, they're so don't know how to talk to chicks. They're super smart. They're very fucking clever. They clown each other. And, you know, you got the side characters. Like, you got, you know, you got Kripke, who can't say his R's. And, you know, you got Stewart with his sad eyes. And, you know, it's, you know, they're lovable. You know, they're relatable and they're funny. And I hope you guys are not fully relatable to fucking Howard. Howard is a fucking, he's a predator, right? He's a fucking pervert. Yes, argue with me, because that motherfucker is. And that he landed Bernadette, excuse me, like what? And she thinks he's fucking he's a sexy ass astronaut. Nah, bitch, you crazy too. But you know, they're funny, you know, and you know, you get their humor. With new shows, it's like, I don't have time for this fucking bullshit. And I'm starting to get like that with these audiobooks. Like, I'm just like, okay, oh, talk about being stunted. I was going to say that I have to set the audiobook speed like slower. Like, it's crazy because when I watch like YouTube videos of like vlogs and stuff, I'm like upping the speed to almost like two times speed. I'm cool at 1.5 speed, but like when it comes to books, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's going to have to be like a 0.8. I'm not kidding. And I kind of wonder why, you know what I'm saying? Like, have I just lost using my brain for imagination, right? Like, there's no room in my brain for imagination. Just the spiritual, you know, vision, or like things that are being said to me, or, you know, like I'm spiritually working inside my brain and my head. That listening to these stories, it's like, I'm not following, like, who the fuck is that person again? You know, and there are audiobooks where they have like, they're like skits, you know, like they're performed by different people. And I'm like, yeah, that's easier, but like for me, like not all books are produced like that. So I'm just trying to like get myself to like listen to a monotoned, you know, it's fucking AI. They're not, you know, they're not hiring voice actors anymore. They got AI to do that shit. But anyhow, I'm just listening at a slower speed and I'm following along, and it is great, but I'm just already hating people in the story. And another thing too that kind of like, I don't know if I should be concerned about it, is that I'm thinking that the books that are being referred to me are, you know, books for teens. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're talking about, oh, my mother, like, people don't like me because of my mother. And I'm like, bitch, how old are you? And I'm probably like the same age as your mom. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of concerning, but Yeah, I don't know. And every time I watch like a YouTube video, and I do get concerned of the people that I'm watching. Like they're saying like, oh yeah, I'm like in my mid 30s and I'm watching Pretty Little Liars, and I'm like, the fuck, And I'm like, bitch, like what the fuck are you tripping? You still watching the Disney Channel network? Uh, but I'm not walking around here like hot dog, hot diggity dog. Like I'm not doing that shit. But I mean, it's kind of like, all right, well, even if I was, it's bringing me some kind of comfort, right? No idea. I'm just throwing a bullshit fucking question out there. Yeah, excuse me, that was my mom and my dad. What I'm saying is that our adulting has stripped us of many of our joys from when we were children. And, when you look at Sheldon Cooper's childhood, I never got into the TV show of when he was a kid. I never got into that. But, when you hear Sheldon talk about his childhood of him being punked and, all of that, that he was a very smart kid and, he surpassed, skimmed through high school and, all of those things, being the youngest kid to, whatever, things that were going on in the science, school science world. I mean, I don't know. But it did kind of seem like he didn't have quite of like a childhood. And that's why he's into like playing hacky sack privately. And, he's into superheroes and comics and, movies. And my favorite thing about him is that when he gets mad, he like puts on a cloak or like a blanket, and then he'll play the Star Wars theme, Darth Vader. Like that's me. Like, yes, I would totally do that shit. But I understand like that part. And I think that's what makes him innocent even as a grown man, when everybody's being nasty and, talking about chicks and, bagging chicks, and he's just like, what is that? Like, what is this? Like, he totally misses it. And that was me at one time. And it's hard to, well, for me, it's hard to reharness reading. And I guess the reason why I wanted to talk about it was because, I'm sitting here wanting to crochet, and I'm trying to tell myself like, yo, it would be so sick if you read if you read one book a week. So like 4 books a month. And I'm finding it really fucking hard. Like I got through 3 hours of this one book, and I don't know how many chapters it is. It didn't say because I'm listening to it for free on YouTube, and they don't have like the timestamps. I believe I'm on chapter 4 now, but I'm like 3 hours in. But remember, I'm at 0.8 speed. So like, I'm kind of wondering if I should try, going a little bit faster and seeing if I can like keep up with what the fuck's going on in the damn storyline. But yeah, should I even give a fuck that this book is probably for teens? Now, the thing that I do not, and I will definitely skip ahead because fuck no, is if there are any like sexual fucking scenes in this teen book, because in the beginning of the book it did say that there were going to be some sexual scenes. Not interested. That's just fucking disgusting. I don't want to read about that shit, and I don't give a fuck if they are of age. I just, no, I can't. Yeah, I still have my Bernstein book, Bear books, that I still read to our children. They love it. They do not like Honey Bear, the 5th member of the Bernstein Bears. They cannot stand Honey Bear. They just do not like her. They're not interested in Honey Bear. Yeah, they don't like the newer Bernstein Bear books. Those are the books that I read every now and then. It's, I feel like the Bernstein Bear books has molded me and shaped me. My very first book that I learned how to read all the way through without any adult help was Are You My Mother by Dr. Seuss. And so I will always cherish that book. I used to love when the teacher read the Boxcar Kids and the Babysitter's Club. Like, I fucking love those books still to this day. There was one, I can't recall the name of the book, but it was a little badger that was in love with grape jelly. I don't know if it was grape jelly or jelly. I have to find that book. Another one of my favorite, I guess it was like not really like a series, but it was like these 2 frogs. I don't know. But the illustrations were pretty sick. I liked it. Yeah, like, and those are all like, children's books. And when we got read the Boxcar Kids and like the Babysitter's Club, like those were the intro books, or like the intro books that got us kids getting into chapter books. And we thought we were the shit when we were little, because my teacher would be like, oh, I want to introduce these books to you guys. And we thought we were like the big kids, like, because it's like, oh shit, like we're being read chapter books. And like, yeah, we just thought we were like in third grade, and we thought we were sixth graders when the teacher would read us these chapter books. And oh my gosh, that was like my favorite time of the day. Like we all got to like lay on the floor and like chill out and like kick back. And she would turn down the lights, and like we could just chill. And like it was like watching a movie, because like my teacher, she was very like, she had a lot of enthusiasm and thrill, and she voiced out the characters, and like you could just see it in your head, right? Like to me, that was better than like watching a movie in class. And our imaginations were so heavy back then, and like now we got no fucking creativity. Well, I still do because I'm an artist, but like, yeah, like when you're just like not can't see it when I'm listening to these fucking books. I don't see it. All I hear is an asshole. Like all I hear is that the main character thinks she's the shit, and like she wants to be a dragon rider, and she's the frailest one, and she's trying to take on motherfuckers that are trying to kill her. And like I'm just like, this is very unlikely. Like I don't know if I need something to like something that's believable, or I mean, I don't know. Yes, it's all fantasy, it's all like sci-fi or whatever. And in the story, the dragons choose their riders, and like the dragons can give their riders powers. That stuff, like it does capture me because I'm spiritual, and there are things in a spiritual realm that do things like that. So it's kind of familiar to me, but it's the characters that like fucking kill it for me. But I'm trying. I've been on this book for, I want to say, 4 days. Supposed to be done with it by now, but I'm gonna try to up the speed and see where my imagination takes me, if it fucking takes me anywhere. And I'm not judging the fuck out of these characters, because I judge motherfuckers all day. When I'm out there in the real world, I do judge. And I'm judging these fucking made up characters. And it's pathetic from both sides. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I don't know. Let me know if you guys relate to what the fuck I'm talking about. And, maybe I should write like a book report on each chapter, so that, maybe get my feelings out. Maybe talking about it with you guys. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't even know if you guys would be interested in reading a book, like having, I mean, I don't think I could ever start like a book club. I don't think so. Like, I wouldn't have time for that shit. But if I told you guys the story, or like the name of the book, the author, if you guys wanted to do your, if you guys wanted to go into other people's reviews and read it to kind of catch up, and maybe you guys, I don't know if anyone would be interested in my review or whatever, but like, yeah, just needing people to talk shit about. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know whatever, or nothing. It's fine. But I just wanted to voice that I am struggling just listening to a fucking audio. Like, I'm not even reading it. You know what I'm saying? Reading it, I think, would be literally a waste of my time. So crocheting is not a waste of my time. And I would really and I just think that listening to a book while crocheting, I'm knocking out 2 things at once. But I don't know how well or unwell I'm doing with that. How crashing and burning. But again, thank you also so much for pressing play. Don't forget to add, rate, comment, subscribe, follow, share, and I will check you guys in the next Watermelon Podcast episode. Peace out.